let's go to left backs. Let's rate our
Yeah,
left backs here.
yeah.
How many do you have?
I've got 4.
I also have 4. Fantastic. Why don't you go ahead first? Because I started the center backs.
Okay. I would think we have the same 4, but we'll see. I have George Bello at 4, Sam Vines at 3, Joe Scally at 2, and Anthony Robinson at 1. Um, it was I really think the Euro snob in me got to me because
I think so too.
it was very hard to not put Sam Vines at 2, to be honest with you. Because very much like Mark McKenzie, Sam Vines' team has had a stormer of a season to start it off. They are 8-0 in Belgium, and he has played, I think, every game. So yeah, I think he has had a very good start to the season, and it was very tempting to put him over Joe Scally, but I will say Joe Scally has had a very good start to the season too. I know Mönchengladbach are sitting 8th right now in the Bundesliga, but his team has only conceded 5 goals. So he's doing his job. His team is not scoring. I'm not going to fault him for that. He's a defender. Um, and I'm kind of riding the hype. I think Joe Scally had more recent involvement with the national team than Sam Vines has. So I'm giving him the slight nod over Sam Vines, but Sam Vines is a very close second for me. And then I'm keeping Anthony Robinson as the starter right now. I don't think he's really done anything wrong to lose it, in my opinion.
Okay. I also have the same 4 in a different order. I've got George Bello at 4. I've got Joe Scally at 3, Sam Vines at 2, and Anthony Robinson at 1, of course.
Yeah,
I
that's
actually
fair.
watched a Sam Vines game the other day. I
Wow,
was
you must have been pretty bored.
I was really bored. I turned on ESPN. I'm like, oh, I think Sam Vines plays for that team. So I turned him on. His ability to go forward in the attacking phase of play is something that fits into this system very well. We love our attacking fullbacks. They get high and get involved. Um, and Sam Vines is very good at that. Um, Joe Scally also did not impress when he showed up in camp. He had 2 different appearances and he was the worst player on the field both times. And that's yes, he's young. Nobody's going to call him out and say, "Oh, well, um, you can't fault him because he's young." There's a whole reason that he didn't look good, but you can't bring him in just because of hype. He has to prove it, and he hasn't proved it. So Joe Scally goes to 3, and Sam Vines to 2 for me.
I was very close to doing that as well, just because Sam Vines is playing very well right now. Um, I mean, I guess this goes back to your argument that you were making before, where you're saying a lack of bad appearances is better than bad appearances, or I guess a lack of appearances is better than bad appearances. Because I'm trying to look it up right now, but I can't remember the last time Sam Vines was with the national team. I think it was
I think it was the same camp that Joe Scally was there, wasn't it? Or maybe was
last
it the one before it?
I think the last game Sam Vines has played with the national team was August 2021. Uh which was the Gold Cup. So I don't know if he got called into camps at any point past that, but he has not played a game with the national team since the Gold Cup. So that was my
Sure.
concern for him, was that he's a bit out of I guess a little out of touch with the not necessarily the system, because I don't think the system has changed a ton from the Gold Cup, but maybe the players and getting some chemistry with the players. Because like normally I would agree with you that like no appearances I guess is better than bad appearances, but I just feel like it helps to get some appearances with the national team and get some familiarity, some comfort.
No, and I don't disagree, but I mean, I don't think either of them make the plane. By the way, I'm just throwing
You
that out
don't
there.
think they bring a backup left back? Or are you
No,
saying
because you'll put either Serginho can play on that side, DeAndre Yedlin has played on that side, Tim Reed can play on that side, not relatively well. Kellen Acosta can play on that side. I mean, it's not like we haven't used random people out there before. I don't I don't think that he. I mean, he might. I mean, we have 26 instead of 23 this year, so he might bring a second. That's totally fair. It depends on where we need the most help. And maybe we have that conversation at the end if we have time. But who we bring?
Yeah, I guess that's fair enough. I mean, I would like to see him bring one of either Scally or Vines. It's a tough call for me, in my opinion. I think they're both very like level. I genuinely do think I'm riding a little bit of like the Euro snob hype when I go for Scally there.
You are, and I will call you on it. But
Go
if he
for it.
brings, I think, I think if I think if Greg is smart, I think he doesn't bring any of them because whoever he picks is gonna. If he doesn't pick Joe Scally, everybody's gonna lose their mind. If he picks Joe Scally, half the world is gonna be like, "Why'd you pick him when you could have picked this guy?" Leave them both off and let
I don't know if enough people are thinking about Sam Vines right now, to be honest with you.
which is wrong, by the way.
It is wrong. I don't disagree with you. They should be thinking about him.
I mean,
But
think about it, right? How many people have made the move to Belgium and failed from MLS over the last 3 years? Tons of people.
Kyle Duncan,
Kyle Duncan, Kamar Lawrence,
Kamar Lawrence, yeah.
Amir
But a
Murillo.
few
I
of
mean,
them
all
have.
from Red Bull, so maybe there's a theme.
I was gonna say a few
Well,
of them have
actually, no,
stuck the landing.
because there a very few of them have gone in and been relatively successful. So I think it's I think it's not a bad idea to bring him along. I think he's definitely matured since the time he's there. And if you're comparing Sam Vines' appearances as a men's national team player and Joe Scally, it's Sam Vines is clear.
Oh yeah,
So
Sam Vines has definitely played better with the national team.
sure,
It's just been a while since he played with them.
right, and again, now we're talking recency and comfortability and all that stuff that we've talked about before. I think Sam Vines is clear.
The one thing I would also add on the Sam Vines part is that when he played in the Gold Cup, a lot of those guys really aren't in the picture with the national team anymore. So I mean that just going back to that chemistry thing again, he played with Zimmerman and Robinson, which obviously normal in most circumstances would have been the two guys in the back line, which would have been good experience because I think Turner was in goal as well. But obviously Robinson's out. And then I think a lot of the people ahead of him on the field, like probably almost everybody, has been like rotated and it's somebody different that's most likely starting.
Yeah, totally fair. Totally fair.
I think you can
Um,
go either way and you really can't complain. Both of them
correct.
are in good form. That it's a good argument to have. I'm glad we're not having this argument of like, oh, both guys have just been so bad. We're picking the lesser of two evils.
Correct. Correct. I like that a lot. Um, let's move over to the right backs.
Should we give a clean reading of our list? I could just
No,
take it
I
out of
got
the
him.
audio.
Yeah, I got him.
You got it? All right, all right.
Yeah, don't you worry about it.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm an editing genius. You know I can get away. Going over. To